Welcome to ECNTRADE Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Well, having marked yet another rebound overnight, the Australian dollar bulls still persistently want to take the challenge higher. Previous day we got a low around 65.65 and overnight we got a brief low of 65.86. At present, you can see here the market is still contained by the resistance of 66, 65, 75. And while this key level is intact, I do anticipate the market will stage a pullback, but there is still a lot of work to do on the downside. First of all, there's this minor support at 66.05 and then 65.75. If we take that level out, then it should reinstate the downside back towards 64 cents. From a technical aspect, the MACD is flat and the RSI is still maintaining a potential climb. But let's see if the bears can ambush the challenge again and take the market lower. Very interesting to see that although there is some bearish divergence when it comes to the euro, the fact is that the US dollar index, which measures the greenback strength against a basket of 6 major currencies, hasn't completely broken the level of 98.30 and still remains above there after posting an intraday low of 98.42. It is assessed that long as we don't break beneath that level of 98.30, then the euro should eventually turn back to the downside and look towards the region of 110.45 and 109.55 to 65 and the level of 108.85. Keep an eye on this pattern because if we do see the dollar index break down, then this would see an extension to this bull run up towards 111.30.55, and that is where I will view a potential supply zone and expect to see the market turn away from this region and back to the lower side of the range. Well, we are still in hibernation. Now, as the base currency, which is the US dollar, which measures the greenback strength against a basket of 6 major currencies, the Japanese yen is the counter currency or the quote currency, which remains idle. At this present stage, we're still waiting for one market to move. Even though the US dollar is weaker, the quote currency is still idling. At present, though, we are seeing an RSI breaking down. We are seeing the MACD weaker and also a little bit of a trend coming here with the ADX. Keep an eye on this as we could see further indication to the downside and look towards a 107.25 or lower to the bottom side of the range, roughly around 106 to 105. Later is Jerome Powell, who will be speaking in front of a televised audience and therefore would expect to see some initial movement from his speech. Still little to say when it comes to the pound as it hibernates inside this 120 to 124 range. Now, that being said, there is still a considerable amount of weight on the pound because of the Bank of England considering introducing negative rates, which has put a bit of a lack on the current pattern here. So therefore, I'm still not ruling out of a down test, but waiting for better confirmation from the signals that aren't clearly given as of yet. The bears are still playing to the downside potential of 136 as a target for dollar CAD, and I do expect to see any advances, but still leave a little bit of judgment to error, that is, that we could see a stretch anywhere from 138 to 138.45, but still overall bearish in terms of this pattern. Well, the brief sell-off in gold rebounded, but not taking out the level of 1,725. If we see a close above there, that would reinstate the upside towards 34 to 50 to 66 area. Now, while maintaining under 1,725, the risk is still to the downside and looking towards 1,680 to about 85 as a potential target. Well, we didn't get the confirmation overnight after the negative price action on Thursday didn't take out the support level of 30.60. That is the trigger to confirm this hanging man, but unfortunately the prices did not come through, but we're not out of it yet. MACD and also RSI still remaining heavy, and therefore I do expect to see possibly one more challenge towards this region. If we see a break, I'm looking for an opportunity to buy this market, not to sell it. So Opportunity should arise if we see a break of 30.60 back to 29.40 with the base holding around 25.50-70 area. Well, that wraps it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. And as always, look out for the intraday report. I hope you enjoy the great start to the day and to this weekend.